Hello and welcome. This is the introduction video for Jexer's first ever recorded challenge run. The introduction will start by addressing why I quit playing the tactical playthrough I was doing on this channel, first videos ever on this channel. I went about it the wrong way. I learned a lot of stuff about how I record, what I have time for. There was many factors that led to me just having to give that a stop. And because I already published, 4 or 5 videos and people had commented on them, I felt bad about just deleting them all and saying, whoops, So I finished it. It's about 8 episodes long. It also gives the entire complete history of Act 1/Chapter 1 of Final Fantasy Tactics: The Infamous Chronicles voice acting, which I wanted to maintain. So that series as of right now is being put on hold and or has ended. I haven't totally decided yet. If it has ended, I will just be doing it again, but from the start and recording and doing it differently as I've learned how to do this challenge run. Moving on to the challenge run for this playlist here on Jex Gaming. The difficulty is set at night, not tactical. Say what you want. This run is first and foremost for fun. Secondly, the story. Third, the challenge. Okay, so the challenge is always at third. You can swap the story / for fun in 1 and 2 slot. Doesn't really matter. So, here are the rules going forward. This is a story mode only run, which means I am only allowed to use characters that are directly a part of the story itself. So, characters that you can rename, tunes that you can start with, all that. If they are not a direct story mode character or guest, because you can't stop guests from being in the fights, those are all accepted. So first and foremost, people who know the series probably will be like, well, Boko is kind of a weird, bird, chocobo there that pops into the game. He is missable, and he has lore tied back to Regraph, who is a story character. So I am accepting him, with also the thought that he will actually make the challenge run a little bit more difficult, because the other caveat to this is all characters must be played during every fight. So I can't just pick him up and then not use him, because it's easier. If I have 3 characters and I have 5 slots to fill, I have to play all 3 or all 4 or all 5. So if I have 6, 7, or 8, obviously I get to pick the 3 or 4 or 5 or whoever fights where, and then I can leave them out because there's a better choice in the party. But for instance, once you pick up, when you start with basically just Ramza and guests through the entire of Act 1. So that is a challenge in its own. There is a kind of a way around that I already knew about, so I did that. You will see. Then you get Boko, and then you so on and so forth. You start picking up other characters as they join your party, and they all have unique abilities or unique starting points, which that's what makes the story mode only. Okay, moving on to extras and unlockable characters, as I like to call them. They're unlockable characters, but to me they're extra. You have to do side quests to get them. They're all part of basically one giant side quest in a way. I will be completing that in Chapter 4/Act 4, because you can't, you could try and beat the game with, some people do a Ramza only run. Sure, maybe someday I'll do that, but not really feeling it. Without the Dark Knight class, it just wouldn't be as fun. Dark Knight is just too much fun, but it's not even in this version of the game. So maybe they'll do a patch later and add it. There's a lot of speculation with that. So we will be including Beowulf, Reese, Golem, and Cloud, along with any extras or other tunes I don't think there's any other tunes in the game from my limited research I just did quick. I think that's all of them, so we will be picking up those people to have a full thing, plus the others, which I will not mention, that come along with the storyline. Most of you people know, others who don't. There you go. You'll learn. So, the difficulty is set at night, story tunes mode only, and Boko. And I add Boko because he adds a little extra challenge by keeping his feathery fart butt alive. He is super weak. He doesn't really help all that much, and it adds another challenge. So he has to be played when he can be played until I have enough characters to not play him. So it will add a little bit of a challenge there. Moving on, next topic. Resets, restarts, all that, I'll do it as much as I want. I'll do resets per RNG or percentage-based attacks if needed. I won't do 100 of them, but I might try it once or twice depending on the fight. Typically within that you're going to get the roll you want, but I'm not going to sit there for like 4 hours and just do it until I get it. Maybe with stealing, but I'll probably just restart the whole fight then and try something different, because I learned a lot about stealing in this game just the other day by an amazing video person who sent out a video, and I watched it. I think it's J7J, shout out to you quick. Plus I will be shouting out others here who helped me do this, but yeah, that video was very, very helpful for this playthrough. So, story mode characters only, night difficulty, not tactical difficulty. Tactical difficulty was taken off the choice due to what it actually means. I did some digging into the tactical difficulty, the hardest difficulty, and it's not per se a solid difficulty setting in my book, especially for my first ever. It jacks their health, it jacks their damage, and it negates your damage. If your damage stayed the same or was less than what it was, that probably would be okay with me. But as you saw in the previous playthrough of the tactical thing, you can get up to like level 40 and be fighting level 12s or 20s, and you'll still be hitting 15s. Which, yes, adds a whole layer of difficulty, because it's not about getting in the right position. At that point, you have to have specific characters in specific jobs to do specific damage at that point, and I was not ready for that because I tried not to grind for it. Tactical is just, it's going to be a grind playthrough. You're going to have to set up your characters, know what they're doing, how they're doing it. You're going to have to know all that stuff in advance. I did not. I went in with a blank slate. It didn't pan out. I didn't do enough planning, and therefore I got myself stuck. Because in this game, if you do not know where you're going and you want to try and backtrack, Ramza's level matters. So if Ramza is level 50 and your other character is level 20 and you go into a battle, as you will see even in this challenge run, their level is 50. So if you're trying to then level characters later, or just have Ramza switch a couple things around, he can survive no problem, but you'll constantly be picking up your other characters, trying to revive them, trying to do things, and it just makes it a little bit more difficult. And that's not a problem per se, I just wasn't ready for it. And when I'm expecting to be hitting 50s or 60s on a character that has 150 health, and I'm only hitting 12s, how much can you do with a thief that's hitting a 12 and a knight that's hitting a 25 when they have 186 HP, And it's doable, absolutely. And I will play through tactical eventually, probably record it, but there will be some serious grinding. I will have everything set up. I will know exactly what character is doing what, when, and how, and I will have a full build out of what character needs to be where, when, and I'll do that grinding, and then we'll play through the game. But back to the challenge run. Good choice of music here. Get it. So, story mode only, night difficulty. I can reset as much as I want. I will not reset a million times, though. I will try to hold that back. Grinding will happen as needed. I'm not going to say I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say I'm going to sit there and grind for 12 hours. No, but I will grind if necessary. There are some things I have to hit in order to make it through the game, as especially in Act 1, you just have Ramza. In Act 2, you pick up a couple more. 3 and 4, we'll see as we go on. So come and join me if you have any questions at all. Please reach out to me in any of the Discords I am a part of. It's linked in the description, as well as shout outs to Big Al, being who he is in the Tactics universe here. Just found him not too long ago. Great guy. I already did the tactical run. Now he's starting a Pokemon run. If you don't know what that is, in Final Fantasy Tactics, it has been done before by a different streamer named ZFrost Gaming, who now I'm introducing. Great guy. So much Final Fantasy content, it's not even funny, along with Big Al. Big Al was a mod guy. He played almost every single mod, if not all of them that were out there. And has a funny take on it. ZFrost is a little bit more grounded and just does a lot of the challenge runs instead of modded runs. He plays mods, yes, but he does everything in the Final Fantasy universe from Final Fantasy 1 all the way up to Final Fantasy whatever we're at now, 16, 25, 85, I don't know. But he plays every single one of those games in different manners and stuff. I suggest checking out both those channels for Final Fantasy Tactics and other Final Fantasy games being played by people who know the games in and out. Great people. Shout out to Pool Noodle X, of course. He's back to streaming a little bit here and there. Just a great guy. Great guy, great Discord, great people surrounding him. And really just made it sound possible. Helped me get my mic, helped me get where I'm at today with my PC and different things like that, so I can even think about doing this. Huge shout out to you. It's part of the reason I'm doing this, is kind of to use the equipment I have at my disposal now and share this game that I love. As you can see his passion in the games he plays, he brings a lot of that right to the surface, right to you, in your face. And he does a hell of a job with it, so thank you. And last little shout out here to JP Listens, who I used to watch over in the UK, you know, across the river, as they say. Shout out to them and their community there. Good people, fun times in different video games. Had some struggles with streaming back off and on and stuff like that. Helped me learn a lot about where I want to be as maybe not a streamer, to be honest. Maybe just a recorder for now. Maybe streaming side bit contents or one-offs, like nothing serious. I don't want this to ever be monetized. If it is, but I'm never gonna like ask for that or probably apply for it or however that works, unless it just kind of falls in my lap. I'm not going to push for anything like that. So shout out to all 4 of those amazing people for helping me even start this series and this challenge run. I didn't really directly talk to any of you about it, but just know that you were in the thoughts of when I chose to do this and start recording all my stuff, that you guys all played a role in that, and I thank you for your time in the recording universe of video games. So thank you. And let's get after it. So this again is just the introduction. I'm going to try and keep it here under 15 minutes long. So love you guys all. Comment, subscribe, you know, yell at me, cheer me on, ask as many questions as you want about the game itself. I will finish this out with Chapter 1, Act 1 of Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, is done in my other tactical playthrough. I didn't skip any videos or anything like that. This is Act 1, Act 2 of this challenge run is basically skipped through. I have a feeling that if you need to watch that, you can go watch the other ones. I'm not trying to push you from video to video. I had already started it. This video is like, you know, several episodes in. I'm coming back to do it. To explain the playlist and everything that's about to happen for you guys seeing it for the first time. Release of videos should be every Friday and Tuesdays of each week. It is 10:15 today. The date, we will be looking at going after 10:17 Friday. Today is Wednesday. We will be looking at releasing our first video along with this introduction on Friday. Both those videos, so one introduction and video 1. So trying to keep them between a half hour and 45 minutes. Obviously it's hard to do that sometimes. I do go over an hour in 1 or 2 of them. Apologies for that. I know it's a long video to watch. I don't mind long form videos, but I know it's not really the curb, so I'm going to try and keep them to half hour, 45 minutes max. Maybe even a couple, even just 20 minutes. I might just do a battle and then that'll be that. I haven't done any off grinding. Maybe except for one fight that I just forgot to record, but in the end it didn't matter that much, I don't think. So again, first time recording, I'm gonna miss some stuff, but I don't intentionally try to off-screen grind, and I will try to record every second of gameplay so that you guys can follow the full transition of how I set up my characters, all that stuff. Okay, last thing. I probably will not be talking during gameplay. For the first several episodes, many of them I am not talking. I'm probably going to continue that. I'm going to let you guys see the game for what it is, hear the battles, hear the fights, hear the things. I'm not going to talk. I might stop and take a break after Act 2 completion and do another like intro video like this, just explaining what has happened, questions, concerns, stuff like that, what the plan is moving forward. I should have a better idea of characters and different things like that. After Act 2, or maybe it'll just be in the middle of a session, but it won't be during gameplay. It'll probably be a form like this, just with the background, game in the background. Maybe I'll have the background of the game up, who knows. But come and join me for the journey. Dang, well, so much for 15 minutes. Okay, time to be quiet there, Jexer, and get to it. So thank you guys again for all your support and stuff like that. Like, comment, subscribe. Or yell, scream, and banter. I don't really care. You know, this is my first ever challenge run. I'm doing it first. Again, what are the 3? Fun/story is 1 and 2. Interchangeable, and 3 is the actual challenge. So, you know, I wanted to do this. It's been a lot more fun than playing the tactical and getting my head wrapped around it. Night difficulty, because it's not totally about the challenge. It's about fun and story first, and that is the base game versus just hitting for 12s when you should be hitting for 50s. So that's the difference between the difficulties. I did my research on it. I talked to several people who've already streamed and know, 20 years of this stuff. That's the only difference. It's harder, quote unquote, but it's harder in weird ways. If I'm level 50 and I'm attacking a level 20, I should be hitting them pretty hard instead of hitting them for 20s when they have 186 health. That's the bottom line. It's not that it can't be done. It's not that it isn't difficult or it's too difficult. It's just a different way of playing that I was not prepared for. So we're going to take it back a notch so I can get through the game, have fun, and do this challenge run. It should have its own challenges and uniqueness to it. As far as I know, this is a pretty easy challenge, but it'll be hard for me. So thank you, and come along in to the world of Ivalice Tactics. Thank you.